Hey, how's it going? It is Tash Vanzetti, Discovery Coach and Mentor, coming to you with my little cup of tea, with a couple of questions for you and a bit of insight that came up after a call I was on this morning with a dear friend of mine, and it was all about this whole idea that many of us, whether we want to admit it or not, sit there waiting to be discovered. We sit there hiding in the shadows, waiting to be discovered, waiting for this white knight to come and sweep us up, to discover us and all of our brilliance, and then go and announce that to the world. Because in reality, wouldn't that be bloody amazing if someone did that for us and we didn't have to do that for ourselves? Because what happens is, and I was almost embarrassed to say this to my friend this morning, but it was a safe space, and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to say that I used to sit there, I used to be guilty of hiding away in the shadows and waiting for that white knight to come, waiting for that person to discover me in whatever that meant, and for them to announce me to the world, for them to make the connections, for them to create the opportunities. And I say them in a broad sense because I was waiting for anyone to do it but me. Because for me to do that for myself was bloody terrifying. As you're coming on, say hello. If you're coming back to the replay, please say hello and let me know if this resonates. Let me know if you have fallen for this as well, because I know I'm not the only one. Now, I said to my friend this morning, I'm almost embarrassed to say that I was waiting for years for someone to pull me out of my own shadow and to announce me to the world. And I waited a bloody long time. And you know what? She said the same thing. So as embarrassed as I was to admit that, she admitted that, I just figured, you know what? I'm not the only one that is sitting there waiting, and this is a conversation that I need to take beyond my Zoom room and share that with people that need to hear it. So as you're coming on, say hello. I would love to know who is here watching, because wouldn't it be easier if we just figured out what we were great at and then someone else announced that to the world? So a dear friend of mine, Emily Aarons, was on an amazing podcast this morning, one of my favourites, with James Wedmore, the Mind Your Business podcast. If you haven't listened to his podcast, please do. It is awesome. It is just what you need to hear. It is so far away from all the strategy and the how-to. It really gives you that missing piece as to what's going on with us and why we're not doing what we want to do, or why things don't feel great. And I know Emily's a fan of this podcast, and she was on it. She was invited to be a guest, and it was amazing. I was walking around the lake this morning, and I had two of my favourite people in my earbuds, and I was just like, that is so cool, that someone, has seen Emily's brilliance and is sharing that with a wider audience to the world. But that wasn't because Emily stayed there hidden in the shadows, waiting to be discovered. That was because Emily, gotta love her, just kept showing up, just owned her truth, owned what she was great at, and just kept sharing it herself. She created these opportunities. She kept showing up in so many ways and giving so much of herself in a way that really resonated with her, in a way that felt great to her. Even if it didn't resonate with every single person out there, her people found her because she showed up and she created the opportunities. And when we do that, that is when people will come and discover you and share your gifts and talents with the world. The more you stay hidden in the shadows, the more you hide your brilliance, or you keep falling for that mind shit that you just don't know what you're here to do, and you just don't know what you're great at, and you just don't know which way you want to go, and you're not really sure about all the things. And let me know if that resonates with you too, because I have fallen for that way too many times, just quietly. The more we do that, the more that fuels our self-doubt, the more that keeps us stuck, and the more that keeps the people that are waiting for you waiting. Because they are waiting, and they are waiting for you to show up and show us what you've got and show us who you are. And when you're hiding in the shadows, you can't do that. So this is something that I have realized again and again. I'm still getting better at it. I still prefer, if I'm really honest, I'm happy to show up in my groups. I'm happy to show up with my clients, with my business peers, in masterminds, and be really open and honest. But I still find it really hard to share outside of those really safe environments. What I'm also realizing is I have a lot of gifts and talents that I hadn't fully owned, and I hadn't taken ownership of the path that I was on, what I was learning and what I was discovering. And they were some of the biggest traps that I'd fallen into, in the sense that I wasn't allowing me to be me. I was trying to be someone else. I was trying to fit myself into another box that was out there, created by someone else, and what I thought people wanted. And I'm not the only one. I know when I first started in business, I tried lots of different things. I tried to be who I thought I needed to be. I tried to show up and fit into the molds that were already out there. And the more I let go of that need, and the more I just allowed who Tash was to come out and play, the more things have felt amazing. The more things have resonated. Hey, Callie, welcome. It's just so refreshing and invigorating when you can just step up and say, you know what? This is who I am. This is what I do. There are people out there that love this and need this, and there are some out there that don't, and that's okay. When we sit here and try to conform to what we think is normal or expected, we try and please everyone, and we wait to be picked out of the shadows that we've created and put on this pedestal and blast out into the world. We wait and we wait and we wait, and you'll be waiting a bloody long time. The more I allow myself to get over my mind shit, the stories that we believe that keep us playing small, the more I allow myself to step forward, to share what's going on with me, to share what I'm really curious about, what the next iteration is, because my business, if anyone has followed me from when I first started, it has changed again and again and again and again and again. Each evolution was me stepping into that curiosity. Each evolution was me saying, you know what? This where I am right now doesn't feel great, and I don't really know what the next step is, but I'm going to give it a go. And then I would take the next step and try that on for a bit, and then I would move forward, taking what I loved and letting go of what I didn't. And it's this constant evolution. Now that's great when you can do that. It's also really scary and really terrifying. And what tends to happen when we go through that transition is we will take a big step forward, and then we will snap back and hide, and we'll snap back and retreat a little bit because it's too scary, it's too uncertain. We don't really know what's next. We don't really know how to explain what it is we're doing right now, like this constant reiteration of everything. And what I've found, messages, look at me with that. What I've found is the more that I drop the expectation of having to know the how, drop the need to please everyone, and drop the certainty that I wish I could, have with everything that I did, the more I drop all of those, the more my path is opening up. The more I'm seeing really clearly now what I'm here to do and who I'm here to serve. And it's taken a long time because I kept creating these barriers around myself. I kept creating this shadow that I would not step out from. And I think it happens to many of us, is that we sit here waiting for the perfect moment. We sit here waiting till we have enough time, waiting until things make complete sense before we just take that next step forward and step out and do what we want to do. As far as the opportunity thing, we sit there and we look at all these people who have these lucky breaks, and they're on these great podcasts, or they're getting invited to do great events, or all of these beautiful things. They didn't sit there in the shadows and in the dark waiting for opportunity to find them. Okay, they turned the light on themselves, they stepped forward, they did their thing, and hello, lucky them, opportunity came and knocked on their door. So this is my little reminder to you that if you are lurking in the shadows, if you are not fully owning all of your brilliance, every single morsel of you, like everything you have, everything you've learned, that perspective you hold, all of it, that is you. That is your gift to the world, and that is what you have to completely own and show up and share with us. My friend I was talking to this morning, she said, I've always been told that I'm way too sensitive. I've always been told that, toughen up, don't take everything so, don't feel everything so much, But to be honest, that's her gift. That is how she is able to go so deep with her clients, so deep with the content that she's working on, so deep with all of the things that truly resonate with people, because that's a side of her that is so innate that she can't let it go. She can't toughen up. She can't forget about it. And the more she steps into that side of her, everything else will flourish. I'm the same. I have this ability to be able to take really complex things and synthesize them down into something that makes sense for people. To take all of this knowledge, and I've done it for years and years and years. I never saw it as a gift. I never saw it as something that I was great at. I just thought everyone did it. So in my years in finance, I was able to get high-level financial products, investment products, financial markets, all of the different stuff that we had to learn. And I was able to filter that down and synthesize it and deliver that in trainings and workshops and with clients in a way that they could understand and grasp and appreciate, without having to know all of the financial, technical hooty-ha behind the scenes. And everything that I've done, every business that I've had has been a form of that. Is I've taken an industry, I've taken content, and I've been able to synthesize it down and deliver it in a way that made sense to a certain group of people. And that's what I'm doing now with my next business iteration. Like, I'm a discovery coach, I'm a mentor, I help people find what it is they want to do, find what's stopping them, and tell them what the next steps are that they need to take, because we can't often see that for themselves. But what that has allowed me to do in really honing my craft there, really stepping into that identity of discovery coach, of mentor, of just using all of the gifts and talents that I have, even if I can't fully articulate what they are and how I do it, I know that it's something I do for people. I hear it again and again and again. I don't market myself very well because I was never great at putting myself out there, of seizing these opportunities. But every referral I got, every testimonial that I got reinforced that, Tash, you've actually got something to offer. And I've realized that it's up to me to show people what that is. It's up to me to create these opportunities. It's up to me to step out of my own shadow and share what I want to put out there, share my perspective on the world, share what's going on for us. Not everyone's going to resonate with it. Not everyone's going to love it and appreciate it. And I'm okay with that. I'm really okay with that. The people pleaser in me, the I don't want to get anything wrong version of me from a few years ago would not have been okay with that. Well, she was not okay with that. She was a people pleaser. She tried to have everything done properly. She was a complete perfectionist. Everything had to be figured out to a T before she'd take a certain step forward. And to be honest, that's just a big bloody waste of time, isn't it, really? Let me know, Kelly, if you're still watching. Let me know if that resonated with you. How many times do we talk ourselves out of an idea or think ourselves out of an idea before we've even started because we want it to be perfect? We want to have it fully articulated. We want to know exactly what it is. We want to know how it's going to work, how it's going to be delivered, what the funnel is, and all that bullshit. Instead of just going, this is an idea that really excites me right now, and I know I've got this. I know I can do this. I don't exactly know how, but I know I can do it. When you show up with that energy and you share what's going on and you put that out there, the energy that you have around that idea will attract the people to it, and then you can develop the idea. Then you can talk about it and really go deep on what that idea means for you. So I have been sharing another idea of mine. I have a lot of crazy ideas, but this one is making complete sense to me, and this one is what I'm working on right now. And when I started showing up and telling people about it within my groups and my clients and my mastermind calls and all of this stuff, everyone's going, yes, that's amazing, that's amazing, that's amazing. And it makes so much sense. Now, I don't know what it's going to look like. I don't know how it's going to work. I have a general sense of what it is, but I know I'm going to figure it out along the way. I know I am the person to bring this to the world. I'm being very vague, aren't I? It's not intentional. So what I am creating, if you're not in any of my groups, is I'm creating the Mindshit Academy to help people think really big, start really small, and stay really curious about their ideas. Now, why am I calling it the Mindshit Academy? And some people go, oh my God, you can't use that word. Mindshit is my way of explaining all of the habits and beliefs and stories and bullshit we create that keep us playing small. It could be limiting beliefs, it could be blocking your intuition, it could be not really listening to all the messages and the nudges and the things you want to do. All of that. It's all of the stories and excuses and the bullshit that we fall for every single day that keep us hidden in our shadows, keep us playing small, and keep us believing that we're not ready right now. Oh, you love the name. Excellent. I love the name too. It was an accident. Mindshit was the word that fell out of my mouth every time I attempted to say mindset. I knew I had blocks. I knew I had limiting beliefs. I knew I was keeping myself stuck. I knew I was keeping myself small. I knew that I wasn't happy in what I was doing, but I didn't know why. I could never figure it out. I was following the rules. I was doing everything I should have been doing. I was, getting the good grades. I was following the career that was successful. On paper, everything looked amazing. I felt like shit on the inside, and I couldn't figure out why. And it's because I had so many blocks, and I did not allow this version of me or the true version of Tash to be out there playing and to be creating what she wanted to create. I tried to fit and squeeze and mold myself into so many other boxes that were great for other people, that's not great for me. So Kelly, you're saying it made me do a spit take when I saw it in the other group. Such a good way to explain it. I love that. And that's the thing. It gets people's attention, but it's not a gimmick. It truly is the word that kept coming out of my mouth I say shit a lot. Anyone, you know, ask my family, I say shit a lot. I'm okay with that. Obviously, in my corporate career, I couldn't say it as often in the office. For the clients that knew me well, they probably heard it a fair bit. After hours, it comes out a fair bit. That's just who I am. Like, it doesn't make me good, bad, or indifferent. It's just who I am and what I say. So the fact that that word kept coming out to me, I finally owned it and just went, you know what? I'm going to own it. And I started doing these little posts. It's so funny. I started doing these little posts and little Mind Shit Monday, I would call it. And I'd have a little post and I'd send a newsletter out, like an email to my list, and I'd say, you know, Mind Shit Monday, this is what we're doing, this is what we're talking about. And the number of people that came back very politely and said, oh, Tash, you know, I think you've got a typo. Should that be Mind Shift? Nope, shouldn't be Mind Shift. It's Mind Shit. And it's really cool now that the more I show up and share that word and that concept with people, that Mind Shit is just the culmination of all of the stories and the beliefs that we believe, habits and all of that keep us playing small. That's it. And it covers so many different things, but it's such an easy way to explain why we're getting stuck. It's such an easy way to just give ourselves a break that no, we don't have our shit together. We're still figuring things out every day. We are a perfectly imperfect work in progress, and that's okay. And what I get a kick out of now is hearing so many other people start to use the term. People in my groups, people in my masterminds, my business friends, all of those people now use the word mind shit, and that just really makes me smile. That makes my heart sing. Because, again, I'm not trying to please everyone. I'm just showing up as who I want to be and creating what I want to create. So the Mind Shit Academy is in creation mode at the moment. I'm so pumped by what it's... Oh, hey, Fiona, how are you? We need to catch up for another cuppa too, by the way, just quietly. So the Mind Shit Academy is happening, and it's blowing my mind with how much energy I have around this project behind the scenes. I'll be sharing more of it in the next couple of weeks, but I just wanted to share the concept with you all that stop waiting in your own shadow, stop waiting for that white knight to come along and discover you and all of your brilliance and all of your talent and announce your amazingness to the world, because you'll be waiting a bloody long time. It's only when you own who you are, you own your brilliance, whether you can articulate it or not. Like, we all have these gifts that sometimes aren't quite tangible. We can't quite put the words to them. But I want you to start listening to what people say about you. I want you to start paying attention to the comments that you're getting. I want you to start paying attention to where people constantly comment about what you do in that great way. I want you to pay attention to the questions people keep coming to you for. Because there is a brilliance within you that you can't see for yourself, and this fly is coming to keep us company. There is a brilliance there that you can't always see for yourself. And that's one of my favourite things to do, is to draw that out from people, to really help them identify what that is, help them make sense of it and how that works in the world that they want to create going forward. Give them the permission to let go of all the bullshit they've brought along with that and the things they think they should be doing, and then moving on into that. The more you sit there waiting for everything to make sense and hiding in the shadows and waiting for this white knight to come and pluck you out and announce you to the world, you're just going to stay stuck, you're going to get miserable, and you're not going to have much success. So it is up to you and me and all of us and anyone coming back to watch this replay, and Fiona, I'm sure you would totally agree with this as well, that we need to create our own opportunities. We need to be okay with who we are. We need to be okay with what we want to do. We need to be okay with showing up as who we truly are meant to be. Now, it might not make sense in the beginning. It might ruffle a few feathers along the way. It might seem completely illogical that you're ditching one thing for this other thing. And I'm not saying it's always easy. And there's always this bubble in transition that can be a bit bumpy. And so I help people navigate that and understand the process. Yes. But it's so necessary that we drop these masks, we drop these filters, we drop these expectations of what it should be or what we should be or who we should be. And we just start allowing ourselves to shine and embracing the brilliance that we have and creating our own opportunities. So I have, again, made a big, bold decision on gut instinct over the weekend, and probably maybe Friday and over the weekend. And it feels so good. Like, it feels amazing. Everything makes sense again, because we get this clarity, we take all this action, and things get fuzzy again. And you really have to drop the how and drop the expectation and drop what you should be doing and just allow what you want to create to come through. That's just so, so important. Now that I have a clear vision of what it is I'm creating and why and who it's for, so much stuff is falling into place. I'll be sharing a lot more as we go forward throughout the weeks, but I just wanted to jump in as I drank my fresh cuppa, which is probably getting cold because I'm too busy talking. I want to jump in and share that with you. Stop waiting for the opportunities to come and find you. You have to put yourself out there in all of your brilliance and go and find them. Once you start doing that, once you are comfortable in your own skin, once you are doing what you are meant to do, that's when the luck happens. That's when the people out there that can help you grow even more will find you. Okay, they won't find you lurking in the shadows, hiding behind your laptop. They won't find you, stuck in consumption mode instead of creating your own stuff, which is, again, we all fall victim to that. I need tea, I'm getting dry. So when we get into this, this is all exciting, this is the thing I want to do, we go straight down, mind shit takes us straight to research mode, which is great for a while, but we get stuck in research mode. We get stuck in consumption mode. And what that does is that just reinforces that we're not like everyone else. And we get worried by that. And I think that we should be excited by that. If you are just like everyone else and you are trying to be just like everyone else, that's a bit boring, isn't it? You need to be okay with finding where your differences are and embracing them. I'm not saying you have to do everything the complete opposite. I'm just saying you don't have to be so concerned about what everyone else is doing. Sure, research, consume a little content, find out, be inspired by people, but don't get stuck there. Spend your energy and your effort in creation mode, in getting your ideas out there, tapping into the brilliance that you have, connecting all the dots that will make sense, I promise. They will make sense. And the more you do that, the more your opportunities will find you. So Fiona's saying, agree, really easy to get stuck in consumption mode. It's so comfortable. It is, right? And we always have more to learn. I think this is one of the best pieces of mind shit that I figured out, is there will always be more to learn. And you know what? The more we learn, the more we realize there is to learn. Like this whole world that I started in discovery, like as a discovery coach, there is no certification to say that I am a discovery coach, right? I tried for so many years to find a place where my skill set fit. I wasn't a life coach. I looked at the life coach certifications. I wasn't a business coach. I looked at those certifications. I looked at so many different pieces of paper that I felt would give me the confidence to go forward and say, this is what I do. It didn't exist. I had to create that for myself. Yes, I have frameworks. Yes, I have processes. Yes, I have a certain way that I work with clients to discover what it is they want to do, what's keeping them stuck, and what's the next step that they can take. And it's worked beautifully with people all over the world. But I don't have a piece of paper on my wall that said that that's the accreditation that I have and that's the work I'm allowed to do. And I think that's another thing that keeps us stuck. We have to create our own opportunities. We have to create a space that feels great to us and put ourselves forward. And when we get stuck in consumption mode and trying to do what everyone else is doing, that taps out our creativity. It like closes the door on it and it snuffs out that little spark of inspiration and that little idea that you had that was so exciting to you on day one. And the more you got stuck in consumption, the heavier that idea felt, or the less likely it felt that you could do that. So if you're falling for that, which is, Fiona, it's so comfortable and it's all around us. We could spend every day in consumption mode with the amount of newsletters, subscriptions, emails, courses, content, books, the works, couldn't we? We could keep reading and reading and reading. And when a topic interests us, it's okay to want to read and to want to learn and to want to research. But we have to cut ourselves off and go back to creation mode and get our ideas out there and see the brilliance in those ideas. Then we can use consumption to figure out, well, how is the best way I can get this out into the world? How can I be inspired by what other people are doing? How can I reinforce the ideas that they have? Like, it's okay. There's a lot of people out there doing very similar things, but you will have your own take on it. You will have your own perspective on it. It's just so important that we fully allow ourselves to be who we want to be, who feels great to us, and put that version out into the world. So no more hiding, no more waiting for that white knight to come and pluck you out of your own little shadow and promote you to the world. You have to be okay with owning the space that you're in and putting yourself forward. Yes, all of the business stuff is important. Yes, all of the strategy stuff is important. But unless you take ownership of who you are and what you want to create and the vision that you have, and you take full ownership of that, none of the other stuff matters. You won't implement any of it, or you'll do it half-assed. You won't be able to do it properly. And I can say that because that has been my experience. I've bought all the courses, I've hired all the coaches, I've read the books, I've watched way too many videos on all of the things, But it wasn't until I allowed myself to be who I wanted to be and I took ownership of that and ownership of the talents and the gifts that I have. Yes, there is always more to learn. I am far from perfect. But what I do know is that I have skills and gifts and talents that I want to share with people. I have the ability to take a multitude of information around why we stop ourselves from doing what we want to do, why we pretend that we don't have clarity around our ideas, and all of the mind shit that comes up around that. I'm able to take all of that information and synthesize it down and deliver that in a way that makes sense. And that is what the Mindshit Academy is going to be doing. It's going to be helping you see how you can get clarity on your ideas, how you can figure out why you're getting stuck all the time, how you can be much stronger with your self-belief and all of those brilliant things, how you can start to take action that actually makes sense and gets results instead of just exhausts you and keeps you really busy and spinning around in that hamster wheel that we know way too well. So yeah, that was my flash of inspiration. I quickly sent a little notification out to say, yes, I'm going live, I'm doing this, because again, I get scared. I'm thinking, who's going to want to hear this? Like, no one's going to want to listen to this. You're full of shit, Tash. I am full of shit. We're all full of shit. Mind shit. And that's what stops us. But we have to get over it. We have to stop with the mind shit and show up and do what we want to do and create the opportunities that are there waiting for us, okay? I shared a story a little while ago. I'll tell this one last story and then I'm going to wrap up. So I've told this story before, but it's so important. A few years ago, I was on a charity climb in Borneo. We climbed Mount Kinabalu. I was going to say Kilimanjaro. Mount Kinabalu in Borneo. And we got up so we'd done the first part of the climb and we got up and it was like 1:30 in the morning and we had breakfast and our safety talks. And we're sitting there in the pitch black at 1:30 in the morning. We've got our little headlights on and I'm looking up into the night sky and I see this line of lights. And I thought, wow, that's a really cool star formation. I've never seen stars like that in that sort of pattern. And then I realised that the lights that I was looking at, assuming they were stars, were actually the headlights of my fellow climbers reaching the summit. So we had to, because there's a single track, that's mountain biking, because I mountain bike as well. There's a single track up to the top of the mountain. Like you can't just go in a big group and get to the summit. It's kind of very narrow and windy and all that gear. So we all had to go in stages. So this line of lights in the sky, what I thought were stars, were people making their way to the summit. There was their head torches. And what I realised in that moment, because I was blown away myself, that I made the decision to go to Borneo. You know, my kids were little, they just started back at primary school, I think a week, it was early February, so I think they'd been back to school for a week. And then I, was telling my friends, I'm going to Borneo next week to climb a mountain. They all thought I was nuts, but I knew I wanted to do that, so I did it. What I realised is that it really only takes one little star to make a huge impact in the world. Now that's me and that's you. Hey Amanda, hello. I'm just wrapping up, so be sure to go back and watch from the beginning. I'm just sharing a story about my trek in Borneo. So it's 1:30 in the morning, it's pitch black, I see this line of lights and I realised that although I thought they were stars, they were people. But it really only takes one star to make a huge impact in the world. And we all have that opportunity. But what I do say and what I realised at that particular moment was, how does opportunity know which one to pick if we stay hidden in the dark? If we stay hiding in the shadows of uncertainty and I'm not good enough and I'm not ready and I don't have it all figured out yet and I'm too scared and all the mind shit that comes up to play, if we stay stuck there hiding in the dark in the shadows we've created, how does opportunity know which one of those to pick? Now when people have got a bright light shining their light on the path that they want to take up that mountain or whatever we want to go in life, that's when we can see you. That's when we can say, you're the one I want, you're the one that I need. Okay, you're the one that's going to get this opportunity next. So we need to shine that light. We need to be okay with who we are, the path we're on. We are all a glorious work in progress. Do not think that you're ever going to feel ready to do what you want to do. Okay, this is your pep talk from Tash for the day. You will never feel ready. When an idea is right for you, when it is truly exciting and exhilarating and all you can think about and it wakes you up every night because you want to do it so much, it will also terrify you. That is totally okay. There are ways to work through that. So that is my rant for the day. Do not wait in the dark, waiting for this, white knight to come along and pluck you out and announce you to the world. You have to do that for yourself. And you have to be okay with who you are and what you're creating and what your brilliance is. And if this all sounds like a load of shit to you, then that's okay. But I know there's people out there will need to hear this message, and I know that it's important to share. So that is it. That is a little lesson 101 in mind shit, and taking, notifications, taking steps forward to start to shine the light on ourselves a little bit, to be okay with the brilliance that we have, to understand that there is always more to learn, and to understand that it's up to us to create the opportunities that we want in the world, to see where you want to go, to pick that summit that you're working towards, and to keep moving up. Because you're never going to reach that summit if you stay sitting at base camp waiting for someone to piggyback you to the top. That'd be really nice. Actually, there was a little kid on that climb that was piggybacked to the top, but he was 5. His parents actually hired one of the guides to piggyback their son to the top so they could do the climb and he could come with them. Can't say I would want to be piggybacked to the top. It's pretty hairy up there. But I guess when you're 5, you just really don't care. So yeah, don't wait at base camp waiting for someone to piggyback you to the top of the mountain. You have to make the climb yourself. And you will learn so much about yourself along the way. And it will be the most amazing view when you get there. And you know what? It's going to feel awesome and it's going to feel great. And then you'll want a new mountain. And then you'll find another one to climb, and another one, and another one. But you'll have the training to know what you need to do next. All right, I've rambled enough. Thank you, ladies, for joining me. If you're coming back to watch the replay, let me know that you were here. Let me know if any of this made sense to you or resonated with you. Stay tuned for the Mindshit Academy. I'm so pumped by what this is becoming behind the scenes. For people that I work with, for people in my groups, you've heard me talk about Mindshit. You know the process that I kind of take people through. So stay tuned for more of that to come. And it's been a pleasure hanging out with you today with my now cold cup of tea. I'll have to make another one. So enjoy your afternoon. Take this on board. Think about where you're going to start to create some opportunities within your own business and within the work that you do. And let me know what you get up to. I would love to hear from you. You can comment on this video. You can send me an email. You can send me a private message. I would love to hear from you, that you've watched this and it resonated, and let me know what opportunity you're going to create for yourself. All right, I'm off. I will talk to you soon. See you later.